This is Hannibal here from the Hannibal TV on YouTube. Slow wrestling news day today. It's been a fairly boring week for wrestling news. So I'm going to do a quick review of the Chyna RF video shoot interview that I licensed to put clips of on this channel. All the clips are in the Chyna playlist in the link of this video, the description link of this video, if you want to see what I'm talking about. And yes, for the people that hate me, I'd like to say you're stealing content from people. This channel would not be operating if I sold content from people. I license all the content that I play on this channel. Just like WWE licenses footage from other companies, it plays other companies' footage. It's part of the game, guys. And the videos that I'm most interested in are shoot interviews with people that are either dead, like Chyna, or that have became rich from AEW or other means and just would never do shoot interviews again, like the Bret Harts of the world, um, that make so much from their Legends contracts and stuff that it's just not worth it for them to do shoot interviews. Same with Honky Tonk Man. I mean, I don't think we're going to see a new Honky Tonk Man interview anytime soon, unless it's put out by WWE. But I'll stop talking about that. Uh, I I also have bought some interviews from John Paz with Chyna that were audio interviews that were more close to her dying days. This one was done not too long before she died. I don't think she ever did any other interviews other than this as far as career shoot interviews. This one was a total of about 2 hours. She was not a wrestling fan growing up. She got into wrestling because I think she saw it as a way that she could use her love of acting and physicality as a way of making money, more so than the crappy job she was doing. She didn't really have much of an independent career, but she definitely promoted herself well as having like and I did not do this well when I was trying to make WWE, which is probably why it took me 8 years to get signed. I did not have a manager, and I wasn't smart. And that you really have to promote yourself to get in WWE. It's easier now than it was back then because back then it was a bit more of a closed industry. So yeah, she went around to events, made friends with the groupies, made friends with lower card wrestlers, found her way in. She didn't waste that much time on the independents. She says in this interview, and I did read her book when it came out that WWE put out. She'll deny that there was ever any sexual relations with her and Triple H until they were actually in WWE for a while together. I don't know if I buy that. I really don't. As a guy, I don't. I really don't know if I buy that. It, clearly, he found her attractive. Why would he wait like a year into knowing her to start having sex with her? I just don't buy that at all. Um, as far as her claim that she did say something interesting. While she was waiting to get hired by WWE, they kept putting it off. She claims that because Shawn Michaels and Triple H, who she was friends with by this time, workout buddies. They were both from New Hampshire, which is a great state. Ted Arcidi's from there. Driven through it a bunch of times. Not too far from where I'm from in Canada. But the thing is, she's claiming, and this is the first time I ever heard this because it's not in her WWE book, that they kept putting her off so much that Shawn Michaels and Triple H got her a deal with WCW through Kevin Nash, who did have power back then, to be like the woman bodyguard of the NWO. That would have been interesting. That would have been very interesting. They were not really known for developing many stars from scratch. Goldberg was the main one they developed from scratch. Jericho, but he was very, whether you like or dislike Jericho, there's things I like about him, there's things I don't. He was very proactive in getting himself over in WCW. He took very little and got himself over. I actually like Jericho the best in WCW because you could tell he was like going into business for himself in a certain extent, and the stuff he was doing was not given to him by writers. He was like finding his own ways to get over. So that didn't end up happening. Yeah, she got her ass. We'll get into that. Getting her ass kicked by Joey Buttafuoco. That's the sad days. But what happened was she ended up having a lot of success in in WWE. Then I think there was a combination of her getting a big head, as well as, speaking of Jericho, she said Jericho roughed her up in their match, and she didn't particularly like working with Jericho. She had a lot of heat backstage. Some people refused to wrestle with her. She was the first real. I don't think they've done it much since then, having girls wrestle and beat guys. And it didn't work out too well for TNA when they tried it with Tessa Blanchard. It was one of the biggest flops in TNA history. Um, but anyways, kept my concentration back here. Between Triple H going out with the boss's daughter and her becoming more difficult to work with, she got released by WWE. She probably could have had a good case against them. I don't know what kind of documents she signed when she got a release by WWE, but I mean, basically, Triple H leaves her for the greatest political move of all time, going out with the boss's daughter. I think Triple H is an overrated wrestler. I honestly do. I don't find there in he's a great politician, the best politician of all time, but I don't think he belongs up there with Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Stone Cold, as far as like being able to capture the fans as well as those guys do, or even Brock Lesnar. I'd put Brock Lesnar over Triple H. I'd put Goldberg over Triple H, which, by the way, Triple H uh, made himself beat Goldberg on a series of house shows when Goldberg came in long drawn out matches, disappointing the fans greatly, making that first run of Goldberg's a flop. Anyways, she had like one match in TNA. They didn't pay crap compared to WWE. They still don't. She had one match in New Japan. Had what she called a relationship where X-Pac abused her. I don't know. Did a sex video with X-Pac. I'll be honest, I watched a little bit of her gang video, and I just honestly, it was one of the most depressing things I've ever seen in my life. Where they have all these guys like slapping her in the face with their members, and just you could tell that was a horrible low for her. Her Howard Stern appearances, where he's basically making fun of her. She showed up inebriated to one of these Howard Stern appearances. It was just a terrible fall for her. And I feel really bad about her life. I really do. Will I interview Nails? Probably at some point. The other thing I'll mention about Chyna is she did Playboy twice. The second time she did it around WWE. She went around WWE to do it, and she made her own deal. I'm sure that didn't help with all the heat that she had. She was like the top female by far, I would say, at the time of her parting ways with the company. Uh, I guess her head was so big at that time, she thought she could do movies and stuff. I can't tell you one movie she was in other than the porn movies. I'm sure she did something here and there, but just one of the saddest situations in the history of wrestling. The only reason I can figure why Dark Side of the Ring may not have done uh, an episode on her yet is because they are connected to WWE, and the Rock's company um, funds them, $7 entertainment. And I don't think WWE, just like why they've never done a Pat Patterson Dark Side of the Ring or Ring Boy Dark Side of the Ring, I don't think WWE would want all the baggage of the Triple H and Stephanie saga being released. Which, by the way, I tried to watch the Stephanie McMahon interview with Tony Khan, the WWE president. Oh my God. That was one of the most boring pieces of trash interviews I've ever seen. I guess maybe Stephanie might be good for a female type of demographic, but like it was very female related questions that she was asking Tony Khan, and it was all fluff and them putting each other over. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do a Dark Side of the Ring with Pat because of WWE's connection. So let me know what you thought of Chyna. She was underrated. I saw her live a bunch of times. The body transformation from the big. I mean, I saw her live up close as the bulky Chyna to as the sexier Chyna in later years. That's pretty impressive, her body transformation, but definitely a very sad story. I even saw her on The Surreal Life. I remember that, and she didn't really go into that very deeply. But X-Pac showed up completely out of it on The Surreal Life, one of the episodes, which was, I mean, it's sad, and I can't say I haven't been there to the same level as X-Pac maybe at one time when I was going through a depression, but um, if you guys want to laugh, search up X-Pac on the Surreal Life with Chyna. That's pretty horrible.